Hey everyone, Pup Twigs here from Orlando, Florida, and we have got Pup Scrappy with us from Kansas City, Missouri. So how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good, good. So, wanted to ask you right off the bat. I see you got the blue, pink, and black puppy hood. Is there any significance to the colors?
So blue has always been my color. Like I started as a blue pup, and my husband is a pink pup. And so when it came down time when I finally wanted to do a custom hood, I kind of thought, why don't I incorporate both of our colors? Because I also really do enjoy pink anyways, and it's a
Okay.
great way for me to represent myself and a little bit of my partner.
Oh, nice. I like that. So, how long have you been a pup?
4 years now.
4 years. Good, good. Do you have a specific what we call it born date for Pup Scrappy?
It would be February of 2019. I don't know the exact day though.
Okay, and that's okay. I mean, some of us have dates, some do not. And the significance of the name Scrappy.
Actually, so it's kind of a funny story. My last name is Scobie, and my whole life, when people would read it and pronounce it, they would say Scooby, like Scooby Doo. Well, I'm the youngest of my siblings, and I always told people, nah, I'm kind of scrappy. So when it came time to pick my pup name, I kind of was like, I've already been calling myself Scrappy anyways, so it kind of fit perfectly.
So it's a great got your name already picked for you and everything.
Hmm.
So what drew you to the pup community that you wanted to get into this?
So I actually kind of started as a boy to a Dom, and we and him had been kind of playing around for a couple months. And during one session, he asked me if I'd ever heard of puppy play. And I told him, like, I had a few friends who were into it. I had never really thought twice about it. And he asked if I'd be willing to try it because he said, I just have an inkling you'd be very good at it. And so I went into it open-mindedly. And after a couple sessions, I realized, like, wow, this is like really clicking with me. And I think the second time I pupped out, I actually got into Headspace.
Oh, nice,
And that
nice.
was very like eye-opening for me, where I was like, yes, this is the missing piece that I've
This
been
is
needing.
it. Oh, good, good. So, kind of a two-parter here. What has been the easiest, and then what has been the most difficult part of being a pup?
I would say the easiest part of it for me kind of was just starting it. Like I was lucky that like right off the bat I already had a Dom, and so he took the natural role as my handler and kind of showed me the ropes. And so I know some pups kind of struggle at first getting into it and fall into the trap of looking for a handler, and I kind of started with one, somebody to guide me, keep me away from making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at first, the hardest part about it for me was I was alone. Like I was the only pup I knew. And at the time, I was living in St. Joseph, which is not far from Kansas City, but I wasn't familiar with pup community. So I'd say for about like 6 months, I didn't know any other pups and felt pretty lonely. But then I met Pup Zephyr, which he is a huge part in our Kansas City community, and he actually created our pup group. And then I got to meet other puppies and kind of grow out of that lone wolf mentality.
Oh, good, good. So, if you could change one thing about the pup community, what would that be?
So there's two big things I would love to change if I could. One of them is I would love to eliminate the isolation that the pup community does to themselves,
Hmm.
because a lot of pup communities, like, they don't allow females in their packs, in their groups, and they also don't allow other pets to join them. And I feel like that's a huge disservice to the community, isolating ourselves from others who kind of have similar mindsets to us. Here in Kansas City, like, we have a huge pup community, but our group itself is a pet group. So
Oh,
we have cats, horses, ponies. We actually have a dragon,
really?
and we have a crow, a cow. Like, we have all sorts of critters, and it's been eye-opening, and I love it. And we have male, female, and we do have a few straight identifying people in our group.
Oh, that's even better.
And I love that diversity, and I would love for the pup community as a whole to actually stop isolating themselves. Because I've met different communities where it's a boys club, they only let in pups, they don't associate with other pets.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would like to change is, I would love to change the mindset of that pet play has to be sexual,
Yeah.
because it's not for everybody. Like, not everybody is a sexual pup or pet. And there are several groups in bigger cities that it's a sexual thing. Like, so if you want to join the group and be part of the pack, it's a sexual thing. And I don't like that.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I've seen that a lot too. So, what kind of hobbies do you have? I mean, as a pup or as a human, either one, but what kind of hobbies do you get into?
So for me, kind of like one of my favorite hobby, I love to read fiction, horror, all of that. And as a pup, probably my hobbies for Scrappy are just like walking trails,
Hmm.
hiking. I actually just did like a 3.5 mile hike on a new trail yesterday, and I
Oh,
like wearing
nice.
my hood and going on those walks. Sometimes it gets a little hot and the hood comes off, but
Oh, of course. Do you have any pets yourself?
I have two cats,
Two
and
cats.
they're kind of assholes, honestly.
Yeah, I've got three, and yeah, I understand totally.
I know the first time I wore my hood around them, they both kind of looked at me funny, and then they just walked away.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's them.
They couldn't be bothered. They were like, I don't know what this stranger's doing, but he
But it's
needs
not for
to
me.
stop.
So do you identify as a beta, omega, or alpha pup?
So I've been a boy, of course, and then I have been beta to one pup, but I'm currently an alpha
Uh-huh.
to my husband. And honestly, that role kind of sits more with me than any other role has, because
Okay.
I've always been like a protector. Sometimes I call myself the mother friend. I'm always looking out for my friends and family, and especially my husband. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what a true alpha is. Some pets do throw the term alpha on there because they think, oh, I'm in charge. But an alpha's true role, to me, anyways, is a protector. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're there to look out for people, to protect them. It's
Right.
not really about being in charge of somebody, it's about keeping somebody safe.
Correct. Okay. Good. Good. So you mentioned you have a group there. Do you have, is the group have a specific name, or just you guys just get together and that's your group?
So we're called Midnight Howl, KC. So if you're ever in the Kansas City area, look us up. We have a website, and we are also on Facebook.
Okay.
And we do in-bar and out-of-bar events.
Uh-huh.
So like this weekend, we're all going to go do laser tag
Oh, fun.
as a group. And then like next week, me and a fellow pup are working together to do an HIV education class.
Oh.
And the pup I'm working with is very heavy, like IT and all that. So we actually will be live streaming it. So
Oh,
if you're interested or any of your followers are interested, or if you know anybody and they want to watch it, we'll be live streaming it and taking questions.
yeah. Let me know when it is, or send me a link or
Yeah,
whatever. I'd love to
for
jump
sure.
in on it.
And we also have like bar events and other stuff. Like our group is very, very active in the community. We march in the Pride Parade and we have a booth at Pride. We've worked like Pup Zephyr is the creator of our group, and he has worked really hard to build our community up and make it what it is today. And I think part of the reason that's so possible is because he only has one rule for the group, and it's a really easy rule. Your drama stays at the door. So it doesn't matter if you can't stand that person or they can't stand you when you come to a Midnight Howl event. It doesn't matter. You leave it at the door or you leave.
That is such a good rule to have. I fully support that.
Mhm.
So, if you knew there was a new person coming in wanting to get into the pup community, what kind of advice would you have for them?
I think the advice I would have for them is just don't rush into an alpha or handler. Don't think you have to go and buy all the expensive gear. Like get to know yourself as a pup. Because kind of when I first started, I think if I would have just went out and spent all of the money right off the bat buying all the gear, I would have had it, but I wouldn't have bought stuff at that time that would have been true to Scrappy. Like get
Yeah,
to know yourself as a pup and just watch out. Don't dive in. If somebody comes up to you and they've known you for 2 minutes and they say, "Oh, I want to be your alpha," like stop, red flag. Like
yeah,
you need to know somebody because that is a very committed relationship. Like they may not be your boyfriend or partner, but somebody being your alpha or handler or any of that, or even beta, omega, whatever, those relationships need to take time and
yes,
you need to truly know somebody. And
I hear you.
unfortunately, I've seen it. I've seen pups brand new to the community who are posting online or I need a handler, I need an alpha. I'm new to the community. Who wants to be that? And then the comments are always full of, "Oh, I'll be that for you." And it's like, no, don't do that. You don't know them.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say the next pup that I interview, there's a question you would want to ask them. What would that question be?
So the question I would have for them would be, are you open to meeting other pets that don't identify as pups?
Love the question. Love it. So are you ready for this question? Came from two pups, Pup Ghost and Pup Scout, out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
And their question was, do you mix any other kinks with pup play? If so, have those headspaces collided?
So yes, I have actually. Like I've intertwined like bondage and like piss play and other stuff like that into my puppy play. And I have gotten into those two different mindsets and find them colliding. And it makes it a much more enjoyable experience when
Okay,
you kind of get both sides of your needs fulfilled at once.
at one time.
And like kind of like one thing that as a human I've always been really into is like degradation play and such.
Uh-huh.
And also like a Scrappy in Headspace, like degradation play and stuff really like lights up Scrappy. Like my handler has told me several times, like when you get into pup space, you do become like a different person. But like if I start degrading you and stuff, you really snap into it even more. Like you kind of glow and really come out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of a beautiful thing when the best of both worlds can combine.
Oh, I agree. So let's say that some pups down the road view this episode of Unleashed and they want to reach out to you. How might they reach you via social media?
So I'm in a couple places. I'm on Twitter, and I will say that is 18 plus.
Okay.
And my Twitter handler is Scoby Homo. I made it when I was like 16, so don't judge me too much, but it's SKOUBYHOMO.
Okay.
And I mean, you can reach me on there. The other place that's easiest to reach me would just be my email, which is Scoby, SKOUBY dot Dakota, DAKOTA at Gmail. And
Okay.
I'm pretty responsive. So if somebody wants to shoot me a message or a PM, I'm always okay with answering questions. I ask that people don't send me explicit content without asking permission.
All right.
Other
Well, hey, it has been awesome getting to sit here and visit with you this afternoon. And I hope that don't forget to send me that link for your the one you do later on with the HIV part, because I would love to join in on that if I can.
Yes, and it'll be an HIV battling stigma, and then we also are doing a pet play 101, kind of a 2-for-1 special there.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I would love to. If I can be there, I will be there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate again. Any last words from Pup Scrappy?
Um, just to all those pups out there, just stay safe and remember like being a pup or being a pet is for enjoyment and pleasure. Like don't if it becomes work or you feel unsafe doing it, like look inside and see what you need to change.
Couldn't say it any better. Again, thank you again from Orlando, Florida, from Kansas City, Missouri. It's up. I'll see you later.
Bro.